What's popping, y'all? So today we're gonna be talking about the Royal Caribbean 9-month cruise that's been going all over TikTok. And the unfortunate update today is that there has been a passenger that has passed away on the cruise. So this is a TikTok in question. We're not gonna play all of it because it seemed like it's more like a vlog style update on everything going on the cruise. So we're just gonna talk about the main part
First is some sad news. We had our
of the
first
death.
death on the Ultimate World Cruise. A lady passed away last night.
Mm,
She was an elderly lady, and the reason why I know is because I was coming to my room when they were taking the body out. So very, very sad for me because I was there to watch.
yeah, she sounded like a cheese mo, so I'm not trying to be rude, but that's very condescending. But basically, going more in depth about this whole situation, editor wrote that the deceased individuals was a solo guest, so she passed alone in her room. Although the cruise line did not address the circumstances of her passing away, they confirmed that one of its passengers had passed away in a statement to People. I'm going to hear. A guest selling on board Serenade has sadly passed away. We are actively providing support and assistance to the guests' loved ones at this time. Out of privacy of the guests and their family, we have nothing further to share at this time. Basically, I don't have nothing further to share at this time. It has been rumored it has been a heart attack, but I'm not going to speculate on that. I just want to say condolences to the family, condolences to the victim, condolences to everyone involved, because it is such a tragic situation, especially on the cruise. And so the reason I'm bringing up this story, especially after all the drama, the clicks, the pettiness, as well as the slight racism that took place on this cruise for the past, few weeks. Not gonna go over all that here, but pretty much, I don't want people to get into a panic about this, situation, as thinking that this might be on negligence on the cruise ships, or if there might be some form of foul play involved. That has not been confirmed at the time of this story break-in. But pretty much, I just want to go over like the typical protocols, policies, procedures, and the capability of a cruise ship, will have if you were to get sick or injured on one of these, voyages. Dr. Joe Scott, Senior Director of Fleet Medical Operations at Cruise Line Operator Carnival Corporation, says some of its ship's facilities look like urgent care centers passengers will find on land, while others on some of its largest vessels are bigger and more similar to doctor offices. However, he has noted that the facilities are generally set up like a typical emergency department. So it's not like a typical hospital where you have the emergency department, the ICU, the special care, and all that. It's more so just like if you get sick or if you have some type of rapid, acute illness or something, it is supposed to be there to treat you as an emergency, but it's not meant to have long-term care. And so that is just something you need to generally grasp if you were like, let's say, a cancer patient, or you're like actively fighting cancer. A lot of people probably wouldn't recommend you go on a cruise unless you've been cleared by a doctor, because at the end of the day, if something were to happen, you have an episode and all that, or you need to get rapid treatment related to your cancer, it's one of those things where we don't know if you're going to be able to get properly treated in the emergency room department. But generally, just going down, what can they actually treat? Going from Dr. Scott, there really isn't anything we can't treat, at least for the first few hours. Keywords: first few hours. Doctors on the ship can prescribe medications to be dispensed and taken while on board, and treat serious illness either until the passengers improve or as a stopgap measure until a passenger can be brought ashore, depending on the scenario. In case of a heart attack, they can give patients thermobiolotics or clot busting drugs on board until they can get them to a cardiac catheterization lab, which vessels do not have. Or in the case of researching this video, I found that a passenger, who rode on one of the Royal Caribbean ships a few years ago, basically had a stroke, or mother had a stroke, and basically while they were being able to be treated on board, they had to then go offshore to get treated, and eventually when it was time for them to go back on the ship, they were not allowed to do so. Obviously, ships are not going to be comfortable with taking a passenger who just had a heart attack or a stroke back on the ship. And so, they will recommend you try and go back home, or just try to get some rapid, transportation back to your home country or your place of origin, all that. Pretty much a lot of that times you use travel insurance for that. Going into this, many health insurance plans do not cover medical expenses incurred at sea or in foreign countries. Carnival Corporation require passengers to pay for those services, and they can submit the receipts to insurance companies, but he is not aware of any cruise line that accepts insurance in its medical facilities, and how to recommend passengers purchase travel insurance, which he said is more likely to cover those bills. When I went on a cruise a few years ago, my first cruise, we all got travel insurance, like make sure everything was good, none of us got sick, thankfully. But it's some things like it's worth the extra pay because depending on where you go to, medical care could be a lot more cheaper or could be a lot more expensive. And if you just pay $1,000 on your cruise, the last thing you want to worry about is a medical bill. And so I'd rather you pay that travel experience up front with that cost and just make sure you're covered than paying from like a random bill that might be worth thousands of dollars as you get back home trying to recover when your cruise is ruined. And now going to that whole article about different things, what do Carnival or Royal Caribbean, excuse me, have to offer, especially when it comes to Serenade to Sea, which is not your typical 3 to 4 or 7 day cruise, which is a 9 month cruise where you have passengers getting off and getting on at different stops, going to many different excursions, going across all over the world. Like, what do you have to offer? And basically, when doing research for this video, I couldn't find the exact specifications of Serenade of the Sea. Typically, what they pointed me to was that every Royal Caribbean ship offers limited professional medical services through licensed physicians and nurses. All Royal Caribbean group ships have shipboard medical facilities that are built, staffed, stocked, and equipped to meet or exceed guidelines established by the American College of Emergency Physicians, Cruise Ship and Maritime Medicine section. As well as our medical facilities are stocked with a variety of equipment, including cardiac monitors, automated external defibrillators, ventilators, x-ray machines, processors, laboratory equipment, formulary acute care medications, like we mentioned earlier, as well as a variety of minor surgical and orthopedic supplies. Our doctors also have access to online information resources and 24-hour support from shoreside medical professionals for additional assistance, as well as if someone needs to be taken offshore, depending on weather and all that, they'll get the Coast Guard involved, they'll get, the proper authorities involved to make sure that person gets taken care of offshore, or if they're well enough to the point where, they're about to dock and, get ashore through an excursion or at one of the ports scheduled, basically they'll wait for that too. And so with that being said, my personal opinion, and this is just with the information we have been provided with now, I don't think there's any form of foul play or any type of negligence on the cruise ship. I think this is just a natural cause of someone just passing away, an elderly person having higher tendencies of stroke, heart attacks, illnesses, then just like pass away on a cruise ship in the middle of voyage. Like I said, it will be bound to happen. This is a 9 month voyage, and so for all ridiculous reasons you can hate about this specific cruise, Serenade to Sea, 9 month voyage, ultimate world cruise, I think this is not one of them. I think they probably did as much as they did in their power to make sure the elderly lady was taken care of to the extent, but at the end of the day, this is just a natural passing away. I mean, there's not much you can do about it. Like, this was sudden. So at the end of the day, don't be getting your pitchforks out. Don't be like using this as social media drama. Remember, someone actually did pass away in this event, and it's just one of those things where it's just like, be respectful to the family, be respectful to the members, be respectful to all the cruise passengers, all that. The other passengers who probably knew this person definitely might put a damper on the cruise. I don't know if they should stop it. My personal opinion, I just don't think they should have this in to begin with, for a lot of other reasons. Like I said, I'm not going to discuss here, but at the end of the day, I don't think this should be cause for drama or panic and try to bring out the pitchforks or anything to the cruise line. So that being said, that has been Pop Health for today. If you like what you see, like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, all that wonderful good stuff. If you want to see some of my other content, here's one of my videos right here I did yesterday. But other than that, stay warm, stay frosty, depending on what part of the country you're in, and peace out.